Hi everybody, in this video we're going to be talking about scale factor. The scale factor between a picture of an object and the object in real life refers to how many times larger the real life object is than the picture. So imagine that we have a real life basketball pole over here, and then over here we have a little tiny picture of a basketball pole that somebody drew on a piece of paper. Okay, right now I want you to just estimate how many times bigger is this real life object. Obviously this is just a picture also that you're looking at on your computer screen right now, but let's pretend that this is the real life object. I want you to estimate how many times larger is this real life basketball pole compared to this picture of the basketball pole. In other words, how many of these little guys would I have to stack on top of each other in order to equal just one of this real life basketball poles? Okay, well, let's put some numbers to it now. Let's say that the actual height from here to here is 10 feet. And let's say that this little tiny picture that somebody drew of the basketball pole is only 5 inches tall. So this is 10 feet tall and this is 5 inches tall, right? Same question now. How many times larger is this than this? How many of these would fit into this? That's what we're asking. Now, a lot of students, when I give them this question, and maybe it's you too, if it's you too, that's okay, but a lot of students will tell me this. They will do 10 divided by 10 divided by 5, which is this. So this number divided by this number, and they'll get 2, and then they'll say, okay, well, this is 2 times bigger than this. But wait a minute, just look at it. Look at it with your eyes. This is not twice as tall as this. If this were twice as tall as this, then that means that I could just draw one more of these little ones on top of this one, and then this would be the same height as this, but obviously that's not true. Okay, so you have to ask yourself now, well, what's wrong with that reasoning? Why is it not correct to simply divide this number by this number, and then that tells you how many times taller this is than this? Think about it for a second, and then I'll tell you. The reason we can't do that is because the units are the same. Okay, this basketball pole, the real life one, we can see has been measured in feet, and this little tiny basketball pole over here that somebody drew on a piece of paper has been measured in inches. So since the units are different, we can't simply divide them. Okay, so that's the first lesson to learn, is that you cannot divide until the units are the same. Yes, eventually we will divide, but not when this is being measured in feet and this is being measured in inches. Okay, because they're different things, right? The length of a ruler, I have a ruler over here. The length of a ruler is 12 inches, right? So I don't know if you can see it over here. This is 1 inch, and then this would be 2 inches, and this would be 3 inches, and so on. And it takes 12 inches to make 1 foot. So if we're saying that the height of the basketball pole is 10 of these, so imagine 10 rulers stacked on top of each other, okay, and the height of the little basketball pole that somebody drew is only 5 inches, we can't just do 10 divided by 5 because we're talking about different things here. All right, so how will we actually determine the scale factor? Well, here's what we're going to do. To find the scale factor, step 1, convert one of the measurements into the units of the other, and step 2 is then to divide the numbers. But you have to make sure that the units are the same first. So it's usually easier to take the bigger unit, which is, in this case, feet. Feet are bigger than inches. And convert this into, convert that into the smaller units. All right, and don't do that. A lot of students will just try to do something sneaky and they'll just erase it and then write inches there. Obviously, that's wrong. You're not going to do that. So 10, we want to know 10 feet is how many inches? Well, I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, so if I have 10 feet, then what I can do, I'll do it over on the side over here. I can just multiply 10 by 12. In other words, if I had 10 of these, right, here's one ruler, which is a foot, and then here, imagine I have another one, and each one is 12 inches, then how many inches would go into 10 of those rulers? Well, in order to figure that out, we can just do 10 times 12, which is 120. So 120 of these little inches would be able to fit inside of 10 of these rulers. Okay, so 120 inches is the same as 10 feet. Okay, so step 1, we're going to convert, and we just did that by multiplying. Okay, so really, just to see that we did this the right way, we can see that we did 10 feet times 12 inches per foot. So 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, and then feet cancel here, and then so we get inches over here. So there are 120 inches in 10 feet. And now you know what I can do is I can just erase this now. We don't need this anymore. Let's just focus on the 120 inches. Now what we can do is for step 2, now we can actually divide these numbers. Since this real-life basketball pole is being measured in inches, and this picture is also being measured in inches, now to figure out how many times larger this is than this, then we can actually just divide these numbers. So we'll do, again, I'm going to do on the side somewhere, 120 divided by 5. 5 goes into 12 twice. 5 goes into 24 times. Okay? Okay, so this is the scale factor here, 24. And what that's telling us is that it would take 24 of these guys stacked on top of each other. I'm not going to draw all of them, but there's 2. I'm just doing this. I'm not doing it so exactly either. But 3, 4, 5, and I didn't do that very well. But if I just kept doing that, it would take 24 of these little ones to be the same, to make the same, stacked on top of each other to get to the same height as the real life object. Okay, so that's what this scale factor of 24 actually needs. All right, so that's it, and have a great day.